So I'm here with Shane Feinlater, one of our senior EOD techs. Shane, just tell me, mate, where are we?
Well, we're about 3 k's outside of Yanchep, so north of Yanchep, in between Yanchep and Two Rocks, and obviously Western Australia.
So that's just above Perth there?
About an hour out of Perth.
Yeah, cool. And mate, what are we doing here?
So the farmer wants to develop his property, improve it a bit. He wants to put in a solar farm up on the paddock up there, and then he wants to improve his water delivery out on another paddock, which is about a k out that way. Right. So in order to facilitate that, we're going to search the area, make sure there's no explosives in the area, and he can have the site. And
why would there be explosives in this area?
So historically, this used to be a training area, so it was an impact area for artillery and other projectiles, mortars as well. That was back from the 40s. So there's still legacy items in the ground.
So we're looking for munitions. We have an idea of what's been used on this site. What's our protocol? How do we go about trying to find those munitions?
Well, we utilise the UltraTEM system, which is a towed array. It's basically a moving loop. The loop energises the ground, and then the cubes on it read the feedback from the metal in the ground. From that, we can pinpoint exactly where a piece of metal is. We don't know what it is at this stage. That data then gets collected and sent away. It gets analysed, and we provide GAP a criteria. So we want to target from a 2-pounder up to a 105, and they'll search for anything that fits that criteria.
Right. And
provide us a dig sheet. That dig sheet gives us exactly where to go and where to find the item.
So that analysis eliminates a whole pile of false positives, I presume.
It does, because what they can do, they can say, well, if it's less than 2-pounder, we're not looking for that,
right? Because
it wasn't historically used here. So therefore, we look from 2-pound upwards. So anything less than that, they just discount it.
Right. Okay. But we still are going to dig up rubbish as well as.
We still find anything that's basically representative, say 2 pounds of metal, for example. If it's a steel bar, we'll still dig it up because it still represents similar.
So we've got the UltraTEM. The UltraTEM's come out. My understanding is on the back of that is a very accurate GPS locator, which has told us where the potential target is. We've gone back, it's been analysed off-site, and then they come back to you on a tablet telling you which ones they want you to further investigate?
They provide us a Excel spreadsheet.
Yep.
And on the Excel spreadsheet, it'll have the coordinates of where the item is, down to within about a centimetre. It'll also have the amplitude of the item, so how big they think it is or what sort of metallic signature they get back at it. And they also provide us the depth. So, and the depth is generally within 10 centimetres, normally pretty good. So, and that's what it will compile our dig sheet. We'll then load that into another Trimble program, and that'll be what we use on our tablet.
Okay, and so then I've seen you guys then go out in the field and you've got a GPS locator on your back, you've got a metal detector. What happens at that stage?
So we move to the point on the tablet. I'll select one of the points. I'll move to that, and the GPS I carry is within 1 centimetre as well, so it's accurate. It's a differential GPS or a high accuracy GPS. We'll move to the point, normally mark the ground just so we know where we're looking, step back and use the detector to see if we can actually pick up the signature. And generally we'll find the signature, and from there we'll estimate how big it is, what it may be, and then we'll start digging.
Right. And so let's assume the worst. We've come across a target, we've dug it, and how do we identify if that's live or a round that's gone off and it's no longer a danger to you guys?
Until we get down to the item, we don't really know whether it's live or not. So we'll dig down carefully, make sure not to impact the item, then we'll dig all around it, and what we're trying to do is find the back end of it and then the front end of it. If we can find the back end, a lot of the time if we can see it's open, then we know it's an old carrier and it's safe. If we find a solid base, we generally assume the worst, and it's a high explosive shell.
Right.
So normally we try and find out what sort of state the fuse is in, but it stays in the ground, we don't dig it out, we just identify it, and then we'll do a handover for the fence.
Yep.
The fence will come out and dispose of it.
Great. And just in terms of investigating those targets, digging them up, there's 2 of you I noticed out in the field there, both experienced UXA techs, or you can take an assistant with you in that?
We can use an assistant. Realistically, the second person's there for safety, so if something does go wrong, you've got someone who can assist and provide first aid, whatever else. So the suite of equipment that we normally use, we use the R12 Trimble GPS. That'll locate us onto our targets within 5 to 10 centimetres, normally down to 1. We can find our targets using the tablet, which links up directly to it via Bluetooth. And then once we're on site, we use the F3, which is a mil-spec mine detector. This is the F3 compact, it can fold down. And we use that to actually pinpoint where the target is and then commence digging.
just tell us what are we finding in the field here, mate?
Predominantly 25 pounders so far, so these fellas here.
Right.
25 pound carry projectiles. These ones were smoke rounds, so big hole in the back end there. Normally inside that is 2 smoke pots.
Yep.
And at a predetermined time, it's got a time fuse on it. A base plate will pop off and the smoke pots will come out and ignite and provide battlefield smoke, so obscuration smoke.
Basically, it's a large metal detector with a GPS that sits on it, so the GPS is accurate to about 2 centimetres, and it'll pick up any metal signatures in the ground, and then that gets sent back.
So once we've captured let's call it a suspicious bit of metal or a target, that gets captured here on this screen here in the all-terrain vehicle.
Yeah, so as you're driving along, you can see where your trailer's situated, and that's through the GPS.
Yep.
And then you'll see where the metal detector is picking up the width, and you'll see the red dots come up and a spike on the lines here.
Ah, okay. And then I noticed just on that, while we were watching you go across the sand dunes here, you're dropping a little bit of a pink foam thing out of the corner of the Ultra Tem there. What's that for?
So it just helps if you're on a line where you can't see through the grass, you can't see your tracks. So it's literally just a marker, left or right. So when you come up, turn around, you know where your last track was.
It's a bit like mowing the lawn.
Yeah, exactly.
You're making sure you go slightly over that pink foam. Oh, that's great. And the cab, air conditioned?
Air conditioned, yep. It's free of dust.
Fantastic. I'd love to take it for a hack without the Ultra Tem attached to the back of it. Good on you. Thanks for your time, Sean.
Thank you.